Summer 1940. High above the English Channel, a British Spitfire locks onto a German Messerschmitt 109. The German pilot does the one thing every Luftwaffe flyer is trained to do. He pushes his stick hard forward and dives straight down.
The British pilot follows. He pushes his stick forward into the same dive, and his engine instantly dies.
No explosion, no enemy fire, just dead silence at 300 miles per hour. While the German pilot escapes, the British flyer is left restarting his engine in mid-air if he has the altitude to survive. This wasn't bad luck. It was a fatal engineering oversight hidden inside Britain's legendary fighter plane. Welcome back. Today, we're looking at the unseen defect that nearly cost Britain the skies, and the brilliant mind who fixed it with a piece of brass. To understand why the Spitfire stalled, you have to look at how its heart was built. The Rolls-Royce Merlin V12 engine. The Merlin was a triumph of mechanical power, producing over 1,000 horsepower from a supercharged liquid-cooled frame.
But to feed that monster engine, Rolls-Royce used a standard SU float-type carburetor.
Think of a float carburetor like the mechanism inside a toilet tank. It relies entirely on gravity. Fuel flows into a chamber, pushing a hollow float upward until a needle valve seals the intake, keeping the fuel level constant.
As long as the aircraft was flying level, climbing, or turning in positive Gs, the system was flawless.
But the Germans had a secret weapon, and it wasn't a plane. It was fuel injection. The Messerschmitt Bf 109 used direct Bosch fuel injectors that forced gasoline straight into the cylinders under mechanical pressure. Gravity didn't matter to a German engine. Negative Gs didn't matter. Upside down, straight down, it just kept running. German pilots quickly figured out that when a Spitfire got on their tail, all they had to do was push the stick forward into a negative G dive. When the Spitfire pilot pushed his stick forward to chase them, gravity flipped upside down inside his engine.
Two catastrophic things happened at the exact same instant.
First, the floating fuel left the main discharge nozzle dry, causing an instant fuel starvation stall. Second, as the float sank toward the top of the chamber, it opened the needle valve wide, flooding the engine with liquid gasoline. The engine would cough, spew heavy black smoke, and cut out completely.
To avoid the stall, British pilots had to execute a roll onto their back before diving, costing precious seconds.
In dogfights decided by fractions of a second, those lost seconds meant dead pilots and lost battles.
The Air Ministry knew they had a disaster on their hands, but designing a complex fuel injection system would take over a year.
They didn't have a year. The Battle of Britain was happening right now in the summer of 1940.
Beatrice understood engine mechanics better than almost anyone in Britain, and she refused to accept that the problem was unsolvable. A young, Hispanic female engineer analyzed the Merlin carburetor and realized the military brass were overcomplicating the solution.
You didn't need to rebuild the entire fuel delivery system. You just needed to limit how much fuel could flood the chamber during negative Gs. In late 1940, Beatrice designed a surprisingly simple invention, a small brass thimble with a precise hole drilled through the middle.
It was officially named the RAE restrictor.
But RAF pilots, with their typical dark humor, quickly gave it a far more famous nickname.
They called it Miss Shilling's Orifice.
Here's how her brilliant hack worked. The restrictor was inserted directly into the carburetor's fuel feed line.
It acted as a flow restrictor. The hole was calibrated to allow just enough fuel for maximum engine power, and not a drop more. When the pilot pushed forward into a negative G dive and gravity flipped the fuel, the restrictor prevented the surge.
The engine still suffered brief fuel starvation if held upside down for long periods, but it completely prevented engine drowning.
The Merlin V12 could now dive immediately without cutting out.
The beauty of Beatrice's invention wasn't just that it worked, it was how fast it could be deployed. The modification took mere minutes to install.
By early 1941, almost every frontline Spitfire and Hurricane in Fighter Command was equipped with Miss Shilling's Orifice.
German pilots diving away from combat suddenly found Spitfires sticking right on their tailpipes. The tactics that once guaranteed Luftwaffe escape were now entirely useless.
Beatrice Shilling's simple washer bought Britain the critical time it needed. It kept RAF fighters operational until Rolls-Royce finally developed the pressure carburetor in 1943. History remembers the Spitfire for its sleek, elliptical wings and its iconic Merlin roar. But engineering triumph isn't always about grand technological leaps.
Sometimes, it's about recognizing that a multi-million-dollar war machine is only as good as its smallest bottleneck.
But her greatest contribution remains that small brass ring that kept Britain's greatest fighter in the sky when it mattered most. So the next time you see a Spitfire banking through the clouds, remember the female engineer on the motorcycle.
If you love deep dives into forgotten engineering history and aviation secrets, hit that like button right now.
Drop a comment below. What's your favorite WW2 engineering hack?